And so this is the part that kind of gets me annoyed, is because the Trump administration understands what you can do with pressure, right? And they are aware of how to apply it, right? Think about the fact that when it comes to NATO, right, Donald Trump and not any other U.S. president was able to get NATO members to contribute a higher percentage of their GDP towards their collective defense, while allowing the United States to stop subsidizing everyone else's defense, right? Donald Trump was able to do that. Now, this is a this is the same situation where he does not have to literally threaten to destroy a military alliance to get done some of the goals that the United States has. We are the strongest ally of NATO. Their defense depends on like how we think about it, right? And so he does not need to threaten NATO. He does not need to threaten Denmark. He doesn't need to threaten Greenland to literally militarily fortify the hell out of the country, right? And so it makes you think, why are they doing this, right? Because their goals, right? There's always a financial component to it, right? And so as I go on, I think there's been some research about maybe like Peter Thiel being behind them, trying to like establish like some kind of freedom city or some crap like that. And then there's also the rare earth minerals that Trump administration wants access to, which the same thing, right? They're not the only ones that know about the rare earth minerals. It's a Danish territory, right? You could make a financial deal with these people to make it economically viable to take these rare earth minerals out of the ground, because they have been our ally since literally before World War II and officially in 1949, right? And so this is the ravens of a lunatic who has other lunatics around him telling him that the only way Greenland can be safe is if the United States has it as like a state or another territory. But you don't, right? And that's not even playing the long game, right? If you even go with their ideas that Europe won't be able to defend itself, right? If you go with the idea that it's going to be threatened, why not position the United States even more strongly in Greenland and build it up so that if there does come to a point that Denmark cannot defend its own territory, the United States is already there in force militarily, sorry, put the thumb there, and economically and socially. But right now, you're now going to have the people of Greenland hate you, right? You're going to have the people of Denmark hating you. They're going to rethink about how aligned they are. There may even be people who are thinking about how do we consider these military alliance pacts that are basically been enforced through legal measures and agreements that we've signed with the United States. How do we get out of those? And that's when stuff starts to fall apart, right? Because our access to Europe is a key component of our military strength in the world, right? Logistics and supply chains wins wars, right? For any war that you've ever seen where someone loses terribly, it is usually because their supply lines were cut off and there was no way to feed their soldiers, and then there were no supplies, no weapons coming in. The United States is able to send supplies anywhere in the world because we don't have to just go from the United States, right? We go from the United States to any of our bases around the world, right? It facilitates it. We don't have to stage everything in the United States. We can stage it around the world in preparation. That's why we can get a Burger King anywhere in the world within 2 days, right? Which is the craziest thing about logistics. And like a lot of people sit around and they think the United States is super strong because they can just blow stuff up, which does matter. But what matters more is that unlike other armies in world history, we had logistics on lock. We literally could transport ice cream to soldiers during in the Japanese theater during World War II. Like we literally just had ships for ice cream barges. And that was like a part of our strength, but that's because we can operate where we wanted to, send stuff through allied waters, and we wouldn't have to incur the long distance difficulties of sending your supplies. And so Donald Trump and kind of his supporters are going to push for policies that are going to unravel, like, a part of what makes the United States, I think, the scariest country in history, right? It's not just the fact that we can blow stuff up, it's that we have supply lines that cannot be stopped, right? And the only reason, right, we have to stop a war is not because the supplies, right, are gonna stop. It's just because we get bored of it because Americans are fickle, right? Or that we think it's too cost prohibitive to keep on going, right? And so he's gonna get rid of that. And the fact is that Donald Trump, he's 79 years old, and this is what gets me. He's not going to be around to see the negative consequences of this, right? And all they have to do is apply the same kind of pressure, or to literally just be like, hey, we keep seeing Russian submarines. You are obligated under not only the 1951 agreement, but also the considerations of NATO and the collective defense of Europe to make sure that the Arctic Circle, as it becomes more accessible because of climate change, the United States needs to have more of a presence here. And so, and that's literally signed into law. Like, they cannot violate that, right? That would be a hard sell for Denmark to argue to the rest of the European countries that are being threatened by Russia's incursions in their waters, that Greenland and their access to the Arctic should not be fortified. Um, it just gets me because it's so short sighted, and it's going to destroy, I think, the most successful parts of the United States and why it has the strength that it has in this world. We are